Philip, you've just come off a panel where you were effectively grappling with issues of disability and how technology could help, I suppose, bridge the divide. Share with us what were some of your highlights from that panel.
Okay, so firstly, very excited that a subject as difficult as this gets to have a platform here at the Africa Tech Festival. So that's really great, and I'm pleased that the organizers of AfricaCom find this to be important, relevant, and actually deserving of an opportunity to be discussed. I think for me, the key takeaway from today, firstly, obviously, we had distinguished panelists as subject matter experts, and I felt like I was in really big company. Maybe I didn't belong, but I think most importantly was the acknowledgement and realization that actually the subject of inclusion affects us all. It's not about those people with disabilities. We all have a role to play, whether you are living with disabilities or not. And as leaders, especially of businesses, it's even paramount that we actually take the lead, because if we don't put this on the agenda of our organizations, then it's going to fall by the wayside, and as a result, that's how exclusion actually is perpetuated. So we need to lead, we need to make sure that it's topical and it's part of what we do. And I made reference to, for example, design inclusive thinking. What that means is that right from the onset, you actually include people with disabilities in mind and not just tag them on after you're done with the main concept. So I think today we heard that from some of the panelists, especially from Karen, that bring people with disabilities on board, include them into the employment workforce, include them into how you design and think about your products, your workspace, and so on. Because if you don't have people with disabilities as part of you, it's difficult actually to imagine for them and to think for them. A small example is access to buildings.
Yeah.
Many times very beautiful, fancy buildings with no ramps for people with wheelchairs. And it's until actually you have somebody with disabilities getting to your office and they can't get in that you realize, ouch, this is something we should have catered for. In the shops or in our retail stores, most of the times the counters are designed and they are at shoulder level and designed for people who are capable. But you get them in a wheelchair, what do? Or the deaf people, how do they use our devices, how do they access our websites, how do they buy our products? So it's very important. And then I think lastly, it's not an insignificant group. The numbers are staggering. I mean, when you hear of 1.4 billion people living with disabilities across the globe, and these are people that are educated, these are people that have got means of income, but many times our products, our services have not been designed for them to consume. So you exclude them. And I think there was a very telling example when Dr. Karen asked us to imagine a world without our phones and laptops and so on. And the room froze because it's a difficult world to imagine. And yet, as business leaders, we don't think about that as the world that people with disabilities are actually living in if we don't design our products and services with them in mind. So it was quite an exciting panel to be a part of, and I'm glad that I could participate.
And clearly something that's important to Vodacom, because we had your counterpart from Lesotho, Mohale, who was on the panel as well. Karen, in fact, takes the lead in accessibility for Vodacom here in South Africa. Why is it so important to your company?
It is important because as a purpose-led organization, inclusion is definitely part and parcel of who we are. One of the pillars of our purpose is empowering people. People with disabilities are people, and we have to make sure that we make they are part of who we are. And for me, at the bottom of it all is that as a human being, this could be my brother, my sister, my son, my daughter. These people actually are in the community with us, and if we don't build for them, it's difficult then for them to exist. So for us at Vodacom, it's important because these are our customers. And even though they may not be our immediate direct customers today, our customers have got them as friends, as family, and they need to be catered for. So there is a customer out there who is a very good customer today of Vodacom, but they've got a child, they've got a sister, they've got a mother with disabilities back home. How do they call them? How do they reach out to them? And that's why it's important for us as Vodacom. But also, most importantly, technology is such an amazing thing. It's an equalizer for me in society, I believe. Irrespective of where you are, your circumstances, technology should be able to bridge that gap. And I think we are in such a well-placed place to play that role of and curate and make sure that people, whether they are capable or have disabilities, that they all share in this beautiful technology that we are bringing to the world.
All right, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Philip. Enjoy the festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.